Hey guys, what is up? It is me, Pagey, here once again with another video on Superman and Lois Season 2, and this is going to be my review for Episode 11 for this season, otherwise entitled Truth and Consequences, and that title is incredibly fitting for a lot of the subject matter that goes on within this episode. But of course, spoil it if you've not watched the episode, go away, because we're going to be talking about everything that happens in this episode, including all the big moments, so yeah, go away if you've not watched it. But of course, if you have watched the episode and you are continuing on with the video and the review, let me know in the comment section down below your various thoughts and reactions and all of that stuff to this episode. Very curious to hear what you guys have to think about it, especially the end scene for this episode, which I have a lot to talk about in regards to it. But yeah, let me know all your thoughts down there. And of course, if you're going to enjoy the video, you enjoyed the episode, and want to show your support, why not drop a like on the video to do all that. So last episode was obviously the big Bizarro World episode where we spent pretty much the entire episode up until like the last 30 seconds in the Bizarro world, where we learned about, the history of the Kal-El on this world, the Bizarro Kal-El, how he presented himself, how he was changed, as well as what turned Bizarro Jonathan into what he is now. It looks like Anderson is dead. Question mark. I think he is dead. I don't know if the actor filmed any more episodes, but I think we'll just say he's dead. I think he's pretty much dead, I don't know. But both Alleys did get the pendants, and they do merge, with Bizarro Jonathan heading to Earth Prime with the pendant, like we had seen at the end of the previous episode before, with our Jonathan coming home at the wrong time. And of course, Bizarro Jonathan is looking to merge with him. So that's pretty much the thing they got to try and prevent this episode. But this episode was a great follow-on from last week. And I thought it was actually going to be a pretty slow episode, but it was pretty quick moving. Had a pretty good quick pace to it, and a lot of I just wasn't sure which way it was going to go. Like last week had me very surprised because we're in this new area and stuff like that. But this week we're in a familiar area, but just didn't know which direction it was going to go and exactly what was going to happen. And I'm happy that we got a really good episode this week, because unfortunately we are on break until May 31st. I know, another break with Superman and Lois. It sucks. It sucks so much. So it's pretty much 3 weeks away or something like that. Actually, we're probably extending to about it's 4 weeks away, I think, from this point, which sucks. But the silver lining with the break is that when we do come back, we get all of the final 4 episodes in a row. So back to back to back to back weeks, we have the final 4 episodes, no more breaks after this longer break we're on right now. So that's, I guess, the silver lining to it. But let's just jump into this episode, because, we got a good amount to talk about. So we pick up right where we left off last episode, and I guess also the episode before that as well, where Jordan tries to stop the Bizarro Jonathan from attacking his brother, which he fails to, but Superman is able to arrive back from the Bizarro world just in time to stop the merge from happening. And though Bizarro Jonathan has failed, he does give Superman the warning and the threat that he can't stop what is coming. Now, Clark does go on to inform his family about really what went down on the Bizarro world and the events, prior to him arriving there as well, including that Allie succeeded in merging with her Bizarro self. Now, Jonathan lets his dad know that he has been getting these head pains and stuff, which of course is similar to what he was getting when Bizarro first arrived, might I say, and of course it's going to be a danger if that escalates. Which it does escalate throughout this episode pretty quickly, to the point that they're a bit worried about in regards to seeing visions and everything like that. And I did like the fact that Clark took on the errors from his Bizarro self and was trying to make sure nothing like that happens with him, or trying to do the opposite pretty much, which of course, would work in some cases, but in other cases it can just put more stress and everything on yourself and your family and everything like that, which is addressed later on to the episode, which I really did enjoy. Now, Jonathan does have a vision where he can see his Bizarro self in the Smallville town center area, and he's spying on Lana. Now, Clark rushes there only to be intercepted by Lana, and in trying to rush the interaction to stop Bizarro Jonathan, he does end up offending Lana, with Bizarro Jonathan disappearing during all that. And of course, Clark is just unaware of the event since he was gone, because it has been a month. Now, a lot has happened in that time. This includes Lana's election victory, which suggests why she was offended by their interaction. And of course, Clark didn't know about the end result of Jonathan's XK debacle, with this touchy subject once again resulting in some family tension. Now, Sarah is actually given a car from her parents, but is encountered by Bizarro Jonathan, though she has no clue it's not the Jonathan she knows. She just thinks that he's acting weird, going through a phase. Like, okay, leather, mohawk, punk rock, let's go. Which would be extra weird considering that Jordan has been responding to her text messages after he pretty much spammed her the night before, but that's because Lois had taken his phone off him, which did lead to Jordan writing a letter to Sarah instead, which comes up at different points throughout the episode after this as well. But Bizarro Jonathan isn't after Sarah or anything like that. He actually goes inside of Sarah's house to attack Lana, obviously. Now, Lois goes to meet Lana at the new office. She's the new mayor, and she runs into Sarah instead, who was taking stuff to Lana's new office, with Sarah asking, what's up with Jonathan? Why is he dressed differently and acting weird? Which confuses Lois. Like, what are you talking about? Until she realizes that it was actually Bizarro Jonathan that Sarah ran into. And I guess Sarah could count herself lucky that she didn't end up dead, I guess, because this Bizarro Jonathan doesn't seem to hold back too much. And this, of course, explains why Lana had not shown up to the office yet, because, well, Jonathan had her. Now, Bizarro Jonathan has Lana in like a slaughterhouse. I think that's what they actually said it was later in the episode. It was like some place with meat hooks. Now, he places the pendant on her saying, it's time, come. So he's obviously communicating with the Bizarro Lana, with Sarah showing up at the Kent farm around the same time after not really being able to find her mother anywhere, and just like some weird stuff going on in the house, like a smashed cabinet, which of course is what Bizarro Jonathan had thrown her into. Now, Jordan does try to give Sarah the letter that he wrote her at this time, but she just rejects it. And I mean, Jordan should have read the room. I mean, her mother's missing, could be dead. Maybe not the time for this letter. Just maybe not the best time, but Jordan was obviously desperate at that point. So I can understand where Jordan's coming from. Now, one of my favorite parts of the episode was Clark and Lois's chat about withholding the truth and the consequences to that, but also the consequences to revealing the truth as well. And this, just difficult decisions with certain things in regards to what do you tell people and what do you withhold from people. And, it ties into the episode title, which of course was, well, Truth and Consequences. And of course, Clark does use the Bizarro world as an example in regards to some of these choices. But of course, the Bizarro world isn't a complete opposite to our world. It's just there's certain differences or certain moments in time where things shifted or whatever it might be. It's not a complete one-for-one, opposite or black and white, if you want to put it. So it's not the best example to use, though Clark's had those experiences where he can maybe see which is the best way to go at the same time, if you know what I mean. But obviously the choices that, Clark and I guess Lois as well are trying to toss up in this episode are things that would have been going through Clark's mind for decades, not just the past couple of months or the past couple of days or the past couple of years, but decades, especially when it comes to Lana. Now, Superman learns of where Lana is thanks to a Jonathan vision, but that's exactly what Bizarro Jonathan wanted. He had set up a kryptonite shrapnel bomb pretty much with a gas tank, which hurts Superman, and Bizarro Jonathan actually finishes off the job, or thinks he's finishing off the job, with a massive shard of kryptonite right through the middle of Superman. And things get worse as while John Henry and Natalie are out getting XK for their device in the mines to build the little power device thing, Bizarro Lana arrives through the portal, which I was like, okay, here she is. So there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on, pure insanity, and Bizarro Lana proceeds to smash up John Henry, and I was like, oh my god, he's getting absolutely rattled here, but Natalie helps just in time by stabbing Lana, or the Bizarro Lana, with some XK, which obviously will weaken her like kryptonite would, to Superman. But things keep getting even more intense as Bizarro Jonathan heads to the Kent farm to finish his job and merge with our Jonathan. We do get a Jordan versus Bizarro Jonathan fight, and Lana at the same time is trying to help Superman by removing the kryptonite shards from him as quickly as she can. And Lana is actually able to help Superman out just in time before Jordan looks to be finished off by Bizarro Jonathan. But Jordan gets the upper hand due to them fighting in the daylight. And that was always a thing. At nighttime, it's not really going to affect him that much. But as soon as the sun comes out and that yellow sun starts to hit him, he's not going to be as useful. That's why he's sort of on a, on a time clock. He's got a time restraint, or at least he can't do it during the day. So seeing Jordan and, Bizarro Jonathan fight in the air and Jordan getting the upper hand, I thought was really cool. I didn't see Jordan being the hero at the end of the day. Sure, he needed a bit of a helping hand from Superman in regards to not falling to the ground and being a pancake, but I'll give the W to Jordan there. I'll give the W to Jordan. Now, we did have this chat between Superman and Lana, not Clark and Lana, but Superman and Lana. And I thought at that point specifically, Clark might tell her his secret. And it still has to make you wonder whether Lana actually knew at that point that Clark was Superman and she was just keeping it to herself until Clark wants to actually open up, by his own accord. But that doesn't seem to be the case, because next up, we learn that Jordan was actually going to reveal his secret to Sarah through the letter. But when Clark comes home, he wants to discuss with Lois and the family about him telling the truth of who he actually is to Lana. And they all agree on, Lois sort of backs off, but the kids agree. And, so she just in hand agrees, I think. But this Clark and Lana scene was amazing. And some people might disagree, saying, oh, I just thought it was mid. Whatever. For me, and I put a tweet out about this, that final scene with Clark and Lana on the road and everything like that is one of my favorite scenes that I've seen, and not just Superman and Lois as a show in this season, but the entire series, but just any Superman live action stuff, even all of that. This was one of my favorites because of the meaning behind it. We know the meaning behind it for Clark. We saw the scenes for it in season 1. We know there's been an inner struggle with Clark holding back this information and everything like that. It had the parallels to when he revealed it to Lois. They even shot it in a similar way, where he took off the glasses, slowly floated into the air. Perfect. I didn't think we were gonna get a scene that great, and I know I just loved it. I think it was a perfect way to finish off the episode. Now, of course, it's going to open up a can of worms, but also containing it was going to, you're just it's like a shaking up a can of, Coke or something like that. How much pressure can you build until you accidentally drop it and it explodes on the floor? There's always going to be, as the title does say, there's truth and consequences. So there's always going to be consequences to revealing the truth, but there's consequences to withholding the truth as well. And it just, what serves, this relationship better. And I think Clark being open and honest about it at this point in his life, I think is the best way to go, because Clark left Smallville pretty much because of all of this. So not specifically, but it played a part in it. And we know that he lost Lana because of it. We know that all those connections and everything like that was seen in those season 1 flashbacks. So great scene to end the episode. And as I said, it's one of my favorite scenes in not only Superman and Lois, but just Superman live action stuff as a whole. But yeah, overall, this episode was a great continuation of last episode. I think I don't really have any negatives about it. Maybe I can't really think of anything. I think all the emotions in there were correct. I know you could argue that maybe Superman probably should have died from all that kryptonite stuff, but you could argue that Lana was quick enough to, or maybe that Jonathan should have Bizarro Jonathan really should have if you really wanted to kill Superman, then I don't know, slit his throat with some kryptonite or something like that. But you're not going to kill off the main character, so you could really nitpick if you wanted to, but I don't really have anything negative to say about the episode. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and that last scene made the episode for me. I loved it so much. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, it'd be awesome if you could drop a like on it to show support. Let me know in the comment section down below your various opinions about this episode, what you love, what you hate, what were your thoughts on the final scene, any theories going forward. I know we got this break, but at least when we come back, we have the final 4 episodes in a row, and that'll be the end of the season. So, bit of a wait, but it'll be like a mini movie over 4 weeks when we come back. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and I will catch you guys later. Goodbye.